Today's video is going to be about a new tape size that I love and a new brand of tape that I have been testing out, I'll say. So, okay, the first thing, let's just talk about the tape size. You guys know I love the 3/8 of an inch by 6 yards from Walker, and I do think it's kind of like the perfect in-between size. Not too tiny, not too thick, it's perfect. But I found another one, and still by Walker, and it's still no shine, but it is the 1/3 of an inch, and it's also by 6 yards. I'll put them in a comparison side by side. I'll zoom in, but it's just slightly smaller, but enough to make a difference for me because I have been using this and loving this size lately. I wanted to tell you guys about it in case you guys wanted to try it out too. Also, I have these cases too that are available now, and I think they're amazing because I never use the whole roll, and I don't know if you guys do either, but I'm always like leaving them out, which you should never do because then they can dry out. It's perfect just to stick back in there and put the lid on, and then it's like cute, nice little, you know, place to carry them, store them, whatever. Anyway, it's also really nice when you're actually installing tape-ins and out of a place to set the tape down. You just set it here. Sometimes I just like put it on the lid or, you know, anything like that. And then I feel like it's not picking up like little debris that's kind of around and just from setting it on random places like I've done in the past. Yeah, you guys have seen that. Okay, so that's that, and I'll put the cases in the description box below. Actually, it's the tape with the case, so I'll put those in the description box below where you can get that. Let's now move on to the new tape. Okay, so if you guys have been with me for a while, you know, probably like, I'd say almost a year ago now, somebody had asked me if I had tried any other hair extension tapes, and I said no, because I said Walker was one of the #1, you know, tape adhesive manufacturers in the world, let alone in the United States. They're in Utah. They had this little sheet, and if you guys remember, I zoomed in on it, and it said, it's like a little chart of their brands and their top brands for their hair extension tapes, and No Shine was at the top. And the rankings on application, cleanup, hold time, and the average, you know, one out over the other ones. So I was like, why would I have to try any other tapes by Walker? I don't really need to. So I've been fine with the No Shine. You know, I've been like, okay, that's cool. It's #1. There's nothing better that Walker makes, and I'm just gonna stick with it. Until recently I got one of their new catalogs. Okay, yeah. And the same little chart appears, and all of a sudden, No Shine has dropped down to #2 spot. And I was like, say what? And I'm looking at it and I'm like, Proflex II, like what is that? And I know it's on their chart, but I never paid attention to it. It ranks higher, and the things that it ranks higher on is application and cleanup. I was like, what? Application's fine to me. It's not that hard to install the tape, I don't think. I guess some tapes can be harder to peel the backing off and, you know, that kind of thing, or to get to adhere to the weft or to heat properly. But to me, I don't have an issue with application. Cleanup? Sure, I'll take some help on that, you know? I mean, here's the situation with No Shine, is it's a very tacky tape, and you guys know this if you've used it. And if you're in the heat a lot in the summer months, or you just live in a warm climate, or maybe you work out a lot, or any of those things that your head is going to be a little extra hot, because of the tackiness, it can kind of itch a little. The beauty of Walker tapes, I don't know if all of them are, but I know these two are. Proflex II and No Shine are hypoallergenic, so they are safe if they're on your scalp. You know, when I put it right on my scalp line, it's safe. But what I'm trying to say is when your head is really hot and all of that, if the extra tackiness, the extra adhesive can feel sticky if you touch it, and it also can itch a little. It's not really that way in the cooler months or when you're not working out and all of that. But I was like, well, if I can find a tape where maybe the tackiness isn't as extreme or the residue isn't as strong, then maybe it won't have those effects, you know, because I do have girls occasionally write in about that. The other thing is, you know, when you're brushing out your adhesive from your hair in the shower or combing it out after you use the Walker shampoo and the conditioner and all of that stuff that I talk about, there can be a lot of hair that comes out on the comb, and it's just hair that's fallen, but because you have that extra adhesive in there, just a little bit, you know, that's hanging out on your tape, catches the fallen hairs. So when you comb it out, there's a lot. We've been through this a lot. It's not coming from your scalp. It's just hair that didn't make it to the ground because the little tape was like, I'm going to hold on to you and I'm going to freak you out in a few weeks when you comb it all out. Yay. So if there's not as much adhesive, I was like, well, that's probably perfect because, or, you know, there's not as much residue, then it's not going to be, the cleanup time won't be as dramatic, you know, because the hair would have fallen out to the ground and wouldn't have stayed there, and when you comb it out, there's not going to be that much. Okay, so here's a couple things about the Proflex II. I haven't fully used it an entire like 6 to 8 weeks like I usually get with my tape-ins to give you like a full comparison on what I feel. So, but I have used it for a few weeks, and I used one row like last installation, so I got to see a little bit of what it feels like to take it off the, you know, to see it afterwards when it's removed out of my head and all of that. So I kind of want to tell you about that. There's good and bad to Proflex II. Okay, so when I used Proflex II, I basically, you know, did what I normally do, is take the clips off the weft and I put it on the machine wefted hair on both sides, and then I flat iron it. And when I flat ironed it, I was like, what am I doing? It was like, you know, pop rocks when they're in your mouth, that sound they make? Yeah. So it has like a pop rock effect. It's like, it sounds like it's popping and cracking, and there's bubbles in the tape. It's weird. And I was like, oh my gosh, No Shine doesn't do this. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I don't even know what to think right now. Okay, so here's what I discovered. And this is probably why people are ranking it a little bit higher than the No Shine for the cleanup time and maybe not as much residue and things like that. When I'm heating it into the weft, it's going into the weft. Like half of the tape is getting into the actual weft, the seam, the top. The other half is just, you know, normal, so it looks like it normally does when you peel the backing off. You put it in your hair, well, half as much adhesive is in your hair then, you know, because the other half is like built into the weft. And the only way I know that is because, or the only reason I know that is when I took it out, normally, you know, we can take the No Shine tape and do one big string and pull it off the weft, even though it's kind of sticky. We're just like, oh, then you can throw it away. You can wash your weft, you can dry it, you can reinstall the tape. It's still a little sticky, not a big deal, because the new tape will adhere better to a weft that has a little bit of adhesive on it already. No big deal. But this, I couldn't peel the tape off because it was like in the weft. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So those are some like kind of, I don't know, strange things, I guess. And it's fine, like I said, you can just still wash it even with that little bit of tape that's left on there, still dry it, and still put new tape on. You know those things going into it. It's kind of like, you know, what's more important to you? Do you want to have an easier cleanup and maybe not as much hair that scares you come out? Or do you maybe not, it won't itch as much if you're in a hot climate or you're working out all the time? And not that it itches that much, it's just occasionally, you know, you get that little bit of like adhesive, like, ugh. But then every now and then, I mean, it's just really like rare that it happens. But I'm just saying, like, it can never happen. And then, yeah, and the crackle pop, I mean, can you deal with that? I mean, it freaks me out a little bit, but if you know that going into it, then it's not that big of a deal. So anyway, I wanted to share those things with you guys. It's a tape I'm trying out. I know that Walker sends surveys out to all the salon owners all the time. That's where they get these, you know, I guess people vote on these things and say what works for them and their clients when they're installing the hair extensions on their clients. And they rank all of this. So that's why it moved up to the top. And I even talked to one of the girls on the phone at customer service at Walker. And she was like, I wear hair extensions all the time. And honestly, this is like the Proflex II is the way to go. And I'm like, what? Like, this has got to be like crazy, right? Because No Shine was the way to go before, and I think that No Shine has just kind of always been the go-to one for hair extension tapes for Walker. So I think there's a lot more information out there, and maybe that's why it ranked higher in the past, because people had not tried the Proflex II because it just wasn't a talked about tape. But now that other people are trying it and voting on it, then they're like, actually, I think I like it more. So the girl on the phone wears the tabs, and Proflex II comes in single-sided and double-sided tabs, as well as No Shine does too. And she said that she can get like 10 weeks use out of it. It's completely easy cleanup and all of that. So I'm trying the rolls, and the rolls are a little bit different. There's zero information on the internet that I can find about Proflex II and reviews and all of that. So that's why I'm reaching out to you guys saying, hey, I'm testing. Do you guys want to join me and test with me and compare the two? Because I don't know, I just thought since you guys love all of this and I do too, and this is what I'm up to, and I would love any feedback. And also let me know what size tape you prefer if you do the rolls like I do. You know, I don't have the patience for the tabs. All of the tab wears are awesome too, but it's just not my thing. If you guys do the rolls and you're used to No Shine rolls, if you try this, let me know, do you like the 1/3 size, the 3/8? Do you do the quarter? I'm so curious on like how you guys do it. I know a lot of you do the fold over technique, the Meredith method, and I think that's fabulous too. Sometimes I do that as well. I go back and forth a lot. But I'm just curious what your favorite size roll is, since mine is now the 1/3 and I'm loving it. Okay, so the last thing I think I can say is, I know I've been a little MIA lately over the last few months, but I just want you to know that I'm completely working away on a million things regarding tape and hair extensions, and I know you guys know some of that, like pre-made seamless from my manufacturer, still working out a few kinks. Seriously, so close, but I just want, like I said, to bring you the best product. I'm also working on a blog and a new package redesign for Miss Flirty. If you've been following me on Instagram, you've seen some pictures of that. And also working on a new website for Miss Flirty and a lot of other things like that. I think we kind of need a place where we can all like chit chat. I know we have YouTube comments and Instagram comments and some Facebook comments and things like that, but I would love it if there was like kind of a forum or, you know, just a place where a blog or anything like that, where we could all just kind of share our experiences and our thoughts about what tape is best and what technique is best and things like that, because I love hearing from you guys, and you guys have taught me a lot of stuff too. So I really love that, and I want to go back and forth with you guys more often, kind of in one place where we can see everything. I had a girl on Instagram recently write me. Pat and I went to have salsa and chips again, because you know I'm like crazy addicted, and I took a picture and I just hashtagged it The Good Life, and one of the girls wrote on there, she's like, so I have some tape-in questions, is this an okay place to write it? I probably should be at some kind of forum. And I was like, girl, right away. Like, and if you go to that picture, you can see we just went back and forth, and she had a lot of questions and I answered, and we just kind of, you know, we're just exploring the tape-in world underneath the salsa pick. And it just kind of opened my eyes to, I mean, that's fun and that's great and that's what it is right now, but one day hopefully it'll be just like, I don't know, something that makes it a little more, I don't know, something that's just where it's like an area where it's meant for that. But it was like cute that she said that. And anyway, that's kind of something that I'm working towards right now. Instagram is the best place to reach me if you have a quick question, even if it's under a salsa pick. Ask away and I will get right back to you. Or you can send me an email. I'll put my email in the description box below. Leave a comment on YouTube, or I don't know, any other which way you feel like reaching out to me. And I think that's everything. And I hope you guys are having a great week. I'll see you again real soon. Bye.